channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Sonia, and I would love it if you could subscribe, and if you're not an existing subscriber, welcome back. So again, I'm filming in my living room. I'm filming in a different location. I'm wearing my glasses because I didn't want to do my makeup again, and I've been working all day, but I do really want to do my Pan That Palette update. So again, I think this is my 6th update. I did this in my Project Pan video. I think it's my 6th. If not, I'll put it on the screen which update it is. It's either the 5th or the 6th. If you don't know, I am panning a eyeshadow palette and I'm panning a face palette, and I'm also doing a 1 month 1 palette. So there was a few inspirations for this. Now panning and stuff, she did something similar with the face palette and the eye palette. She is amazing, by the way, at this. But then a 1 month 1 palette was when I used to watch Sarah Rose. I'll just leave everyone below that is associated with this project or people that have influenced me. I usually start with my face palette and then I move on to my eyeshadow palette and then my 1 month 1 palette. I did pick my 1 month 1 palette a bit early this time because I have packed all my makeup because we're moving house. So I'll just pick it up and I'm really happy with what it is. So let's start with the face palette like we usually do. So what I will do is I'll put a picture of what it looked like last month, like I usually do, and then what I will do is I'll put a picture of what it looks like this month. And when I say this month, it is from the 15th. So it's actually the 16th today. I'm filming this a little bit later just because I've been busy, but I've only used this one more time, so I can't see it looking that different. Also, I'm really sorry if I'm at a different angle now because my camera just fell over. I didn't even tell you what palette I was panning, did I? Sorry. Honestly, so much on my brain right now. So I am panning the Kat Von D Shade and Light Contour palette. I've had this a really long time. It is definitely, it is definitely the oldest face palette in my collection. I got it as a gift from my boyfriend for one Christmas, back when this palette was like, everyone must have it. This is the old Kat Von D. So this is my progress. So I'd already had pan in the 2 powders at the top. I definitely think I have extended the pan on that, and unfortunately I haven't hit pan in this shade. But again, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see, but I do think that I have a much bigger dip in the middle of that now, and I'm also starting to see a dip in this one as well. We're in July. As I said in my previous update, I'm not gonna have the contour powders done, but I was actually thinking about this, and I'm still going to introduce a new face palette next year. I think that's what I'm going to do, but I will still work on this, I think, behind the scenes. I just wanted to see how much progress I could make, and I think with the powders I can definitely get them done, so I'll be happy with that. These powders I use under my eyes. It is a little bit drying and the colours of them are, well, add a colour to my under eyes. I much prefer a translucent powder. That's just me personally, or like one that's like fair for my skin tone. So these are a bit yellowy, but I'm using them. So because of everything that's going on, I really did not wear makeup a lot since the last update. And for this face palette, I only used it 6 times. That is the lowest I have used it throughout this project, which is fine. I did not think I was going to be using makeup that much since my last Project Pan updates. I still do think I've made a little bit of progress on the powders. What I'm doing now with my brush is I'm just going across both of them because I think that's just going to be the easiest way for me to get like consistent progress across all of it. I would really like to get these powders finished this year and at least hit pan in the contour powders, fingers crossed. So yeah, 6 uses. Not great, I know, but at least it's still 6 uses. I didn't think I was going to really wear makeup at all. So 6 uses, I'm happy with that, and of course that will be staying in it most probably till the end of the year. Okay, so for my eyeshadow palette, I will put a picture of what it looked like at the last update, and I will put a picture of what it looks like this update. So the palette that I am using is this one, and this is the I Heart Revolution Angel Heart palette. Again, I got this as a gift, and I introduced this a few updates back, so I didn't want to bring in a palette that is unrealistic for me to finish. And again, I still think it is a bit unrealistic to finish an eyeshadow palette when you start it a lot later in the year than everyone else. But this is my progress So you will see that I did manage to hit pan in this shade here, and I'm very close to hitting pan in this one. We're not quite there yet. I think you can see it a little bit, but we're not there yet. So I do think by next update I will have pan in this one. I'm happy with this progress. I don't think I'm going to use up all the shades, but if I can at least try and have pan in all of these, that will be brilliant. This isn't an old eyeshadow palette, so it's not like I'm gonna, once I'm finished doing this project, it's gonna get given away or anything. I do really like it. I love pinks. Pink is my favourite colour, so this is perfect. I love pinks on my eyes. I've only used this 5 times since the last update, so not great. But what I do is I tally up how many times I use each of them. So for this shade I used it 3 times. This shade I only used it once. This shade I used it 5 times, and this shade I used it 3 times. So I haven't really used this that much because I have been reaching more for my 1 month 1 palette or eyeshadow more. I will go into that a little bit in a bit. But I do really like this. I do think it is a nice eyeshadow. The formula is nice. I do enjoy it. What I will say is though, it is very easy to hit pan because the pans really are not deep. So I do think I will have pan in this one by the next update, and I want to try and use some more of these. Thank you so much, by the way, for all the recommendations about using these darker colours. I'm still a bit amateur when it comes to doing a darker out of corner, but I'm definitely going to give it a go because when I did do it I didn't hate it. Definitely use them for that because I can't see me using them all over my lid. I think what might be more realistic with this now is just to try and hit pan in all of the eyeshadows. Again, next year in January I'm going to be bringing in a face palette and an eyeshadow palette, so fingers crossed we have a lot more time to finish them next year. I'm a bit umming and ahhing about which eyeshadow palette to choose yet. I've got a couple in mind, so yeah, anyway, that's for January next year. So my 1 month 1 palette last month was actually an individual eyeshadow, and this was the Lottie London Eye Foil in Faded. I was so surprised by this. So surprised. I loved this just because of the ease of use of it. I put it on my lid, blended it out, put another layer on and blended it out, and honestly it looked like I made more of an effort, and it was really sparkly. I know that might not be for everyone, but I really liked it, and I wish this was something that I picked this month because I'm starting to go back into my work office now, and I just think something like this in the morning would just be so efficient and easy to do, because initially it took me about 2 minutes to do my eyeshadow, which usually it takes me a bit longer than that. So this is definitely staying in my collection. I'm so glad I used it. I don't tell you how many times I use my 1 month 1 palette because that's not what I'm putting it in for. But I did use this quite a lot over the last month. I took this on holiday with me as well, and I used it a lot, and I'm so glad I have because now I know what I think to it, and that is definitely staying in my collection. Okay, so if you don't know, I randomly generate a number and then go to my spreadsheet of eyeshadows and pick my 1 month 1 palette. I don't just want to focus on all new eyeshadows in my collection, I want to also use the older ones as well. So I just randomly generate a number, and whichever number it lands on is whichever one I choose. Again, this one is actually a palette I've not used before, and it's this one from W7. So it's the W7 Bare It All Exposed Pressed Pigment Palette. So I had a problem with this one from W7. So when it came, it was all smashed, and I was gutted. I got in contact with them and it took them a while to get back, but they did send me out a replacement. This is what it looks like. So it is a dupe for the Huda Beauty one. I really like this. Again, it's going to be good for in the office because I can just get some really neutral looks. This I'm really interested in trying. Such a pretty colour, I love it. So again, quite neutral, which I'm happy about. A lot of my palettes are neutral, but I do love W7 because I do think that they do good dupes. I know not everyone loves a dupe, you know, each of their own. But if you don't have a lot of money and you are looking for something like the Huda Beauty ones but don't have the money to spend on that, W7 is honestly so good. I think this was definitely less than £7, which is brilliant. And I do like W7's formula, so if you're looking for something like that, go for this. But what I will do, as always, is in the next update, I will give you a review of what I think to this. But the colours look beautiful. I haven't used it yet, like at all, and I've had it for a few months. So this is why I wanted to do my 1 month 1 palette. So that is my Pan That palette update. Again, short and sweet. I'm really happy with my progress. I know maybe not as much as previous months, but still really happy with it. And I'm really happy with my 1 month 1 palette as well. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and it would mean the world to me if you could subscribe if you don't already. And I would love to know below your thoughts and opinions. And until my next video, thank you for coming by. See you later.